The grinder mentality that Randy and Brent Habert built into 44 Pro runs deep within our team. Every member shares a passion for the craft, the game, and most importantly, the player. When you step onto the field with a 44 Pro custom glove, you'll feel the difference. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro. Are you ready to take control of your health? At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. Say goodbye to long waits and office visits. Check your health on your own terms with 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today and free yourself from traditional medicine. That's the number 4uhealth.com.
Hey y'all, it's Kelly Clarkson here to talk Wayfair. No matter your space, style, or budget, shop Wayfair.com to make your home way more you.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Claire Sanamaw here, host of Final Days on Earth. Thanks so much for tuning in to my second season on the life and death of Jennifer Harris. For those of you who are missing the Damien Hurd case from my first season, I wanted to let you know that the Prosecutors Podcast is doing a special 3-episode series on Damien called Colorado Kool-Aid. Check it out. And now, back to this week's show. On the final night of Jennifer Harris's life, she left the house to visit a friend and never came home. It was Mother's Day 2002, and Jennifer had spent the day visiting family. Her own mother had passed away 5 years earlier, back when Jennifer was newly married to Rob Holman. The holidays still hit hard, and Jennifer, now divorced, was reportedly feeling nostalgic. One of the last things Jennifer said was, "No one should be alone on Mother's Day."
So I think that it was all kind of coming home to her and hitting home.
From Cold Case Productions, this is Final Days on Earth, Season 2, The Life and Death of Jennifer Harris, Episode 3, Mother's Day. I'm your host, Claire Sanamaw. Thanks for listening. On our last episode, we left off with Alyssa and Rob's intense conversation at Grandma Mimi's house in Bonham.
You know, I said, come in the house, and so he came in, and I could tell he felt really uncomfortable.
Rob had shown up uninvited, but wanting to talk. During that conversation, the first details about Jennifer's actions on Mother's Day were starting to be uncovered.
She was going to come out to Mom and Dad's to see my mom Mother's Day.
But investigators needed more. Needed to go back even further, needed to understand what she did, with whom, and why. And so now we will retrace Jennifer's steps, starting with what she did on Mother's Day. It's May 12th, 2002, and a sleepy Jennifer Harris is getting a late start on this Sunday morning. Jennifer had spent the better part of the weekend in Austin, chaperoning the Bonham High School girls' track meet, before making the 5-hour drive back to her grandmother's house. It's Mother's Day, and Jennifer is having to mark the holiday without her own mom, who died in 1997 from brain cancer. As if that wasn't heavy enough, Jennifer was also dealing with a recent divorce and the loss of her business, Stone Lee Massage and Wellness. The company that she had started with her then-boyfriend, James Hamilton, closed its doors in February after struggling financially.
She was depressed because her mom had died, and she threw everything into her business.
This is Jennifer's cousin, Susan Bowen, talking to investigators in 2002.
And when she threw everything into her business, then she let everything else go. And she said nothing made her happy. Her house, having a new house, redoing it, Rob, nothing.
After waking up around 10 a.m., Jennifer made 2 phone calls, one to her dad and one to her ex-husband, Rob Holman.
She got real upset because it was Mother's Day, I would come over.
This is from Rob's 2002 interview with investigators.
So I told her that I couldn't, and I think, or that I wasn't going to. And she hung up and called back, real upset, and said that she was gonna. It wasn't right that I was being like that since it was Mother's Day.
According to Rob, Jennifer said she wanted to come over to see his mom and dad, but Rob didn't like that idea because his new girlfriend was already going to be there. After Jennifer and Rob divorced in October 2000, Rob had started dating someone new in Bonham, Sarah Beth Ruffner. But that new relationship hadn't stopped old habits. Investigators had already noted Rob's number in Jennifer's phone records from Mother's Day, and in his interview with police, Rob admitted that his continued contact with Jennifer had created conflict with his girlfriend.
We'd see each other about every 2 weeks.
Pretty much by what I'm hearing and seeing, she wanted to get back with you.
Oh, she did. She has ever since we split up. Phone calls and, the whole 9 yards.
In fact, Rob told police that on Mother's Day, he specifically left the house to go driving around to avoid the chance of a confrontation with Jennifer at Sarah Beth's house, where he was now living.
Kind of scared Jennifer to show up over there for a confrontation. I didn't want to. She's done that several times before.
Rob wasn't only worried about a confrontation, he was worried he'd get caught in his infidelity.
Does Sarah Beth, does she know about the baby?
Baby. What baby? No.
What we're going to tell
I wasn't going to. It wasn't mine.
Wasn't yours.
No.
The audio quality isn't great here, so let me walk you through what we just heard. In Detective Kelly Warren's interview with Rob, he asks him point blank, "Does Sarah Beth know about the baby?" There's a pause, and Rob says, "Baby? What baby?" Detective Warren says softly, "Jennifer's." And Rob drops his head and says, "No." Here again is Rob's girlfriend, Sarah Beth, talking to investigators about what she understood to be the extent of Rob and Jennifer's friendship.
He said that, Jennifer and he tried to maintain a friendship, that it had been, pretty rocky road. But I remember him saying this specific thing. I don't want you to get upset if you hear from someone that, they saw me talking to her at Walmart. Because, we have a pretty long past together, and, I was understanding about it. I didn't always like it, but I never questioned that. I questioned, and I feel so guilty saying this, but I questioned her motives for calling. And
Sure.
She would come over and knock on the door for a long time, and I just never did answer it.
Investigators continued this line of questioning.
Let me ask you a question straight up. Did she ever say she's going to go to your girlfriend's house?
Say that she was going to go over there?
Let her know that she's pregnant with your kid.
Oh, yeah.
When did she say that?
Oh, from the get-go, she'd say that.
In case you didn't catch that, in Rob's police interview, he said that Jennifer repeatedly told him she was going to go to Sarah Beth's house and tell her about the baby. This is from Sarah Beth's 2002 interview with investigators.
Your boyfriend is who?
Rob Holman.
Okay. And his full name is Robert, right?
Mm-hmm.
Robert Hellman. Okay. Rob lives with you, is that correct?
Yeah.
Sarah Beth is emotional from the start of the interview, and you can hear it in her voice.
So, Tell me what happened on Mother's Day.
Mother's Day, I went to church with my family, my immediate family. And then I came back to my house. And then we went to Rob's family's house, his mom and dad's house. We stayed out there for a few hours.
Rob told investigators that he made it clear over the phone to Jennifer that she was not welcome at his family gathering.
I told her I didn't want her to, it's, I have a girlfriend out there, and I just don't like the situation there. That was pretty much just the conversation.
But investigators wondered if there was more to Rob and Jennifer's conversation that day.
They did talk on the phone for approximately an hour.
This is Daryl Parker, a former investigator with the Fannin County Sheriff's Office who once worked on Jennifer's case.
During that conversation, according to him, she wanted him to spend some time with her. She wanted to go visit his parents because she had a long relationship with them as well.
Back in 2002, Rob told investigators that while he'd moved in with his new girlfriend Sarah Beth, he still had a soft spot for his ex-wife Jennifer.
I'll always love her. But it was just one of those love her but can't live with a person type of deal.
Rob didn't share any more details of his hour-long conversation with Jennifer when he spoke with investigators.
So according to Rob Holman, that's the last time he ever talked to Jennifer Harris, was during that phone call.
With Jennifer unwelcome at Rob's family gathering, she spent time with her grandmother and other relatives. Meanwhile, Rob and his girlfriend Sarah Beth visited his parents and hers in the Bonham area. Jennifer's grandmother told investigators that Jennifer said, "No one should be alone on Mother's Day." Around 1 p.m., Jennifer went to the mall with her grandmother and they had a late lunch at the Catfish King together. Jennifer's sister Alyssa remembers trying to reach her on multiple occasions, but Jennifer was always out and about.
And I did a few times try to get in touch with her. One time I called, no one answered, and then I called around, it would be like around 6:30 or something, and I called and Mimi answered, and I said, "Is Jennifer there?"
Mimi is what the girls called their grandmother.
She's gone to Christy Farr's, a family friend's, to get a recipe for something, and so you just missed her again, but I'll tell her that you called her,
At this point in time, Christy Farr's house in Bonham is the last known location of Jennifer Harris. She drove her green Jeep there around 6 p.m.
She left her grandmother's house and went to see a friend of hers.
Here again is Daryl Parker.
She went by Christy Farr's house to get a recipe for chicken spaghetti. So she arrived there and she spent some time talking to Christy. And then according to Christy, just before 8 p.m., Jennifer sort of said, "Oh my gosh, I got to go. I'm supposed to meet someone." Now, unfortunately for us, she didn't tell Christy who she was going to go meet. But she rushed out of Christy's house and took off.
Christy told investigators that she remembered Jennifer wearing blue jeans and tennis shoes and carrying a dark backpack-style purse as she headed out the door.
And we know that she headed north on Highway 78.
And how do we know that?
Well, we know that because Rob Holman himself said that he met her at the intersection of Highway 78.
This is Rob describing his driving route to investigators.
I was on the 898 with 78 intersect.
Four-way stop.
Right, the four-way stop right there.
You were stopped there.
I was coming up to it, and I saw her Jeep turn.
Which direction you headed?
I was going to go buy some beer.
In 2002, Bonham was in a dry county, meaning you couldn't buy alcohol there. The quickest way to get beer would be to drive north into Oklahoma, across the Red River. Hey, it's Claire Sanema, host of Final Days on Earth. Have you ever signed up for something and then totally forgotten about it? I just learned that 85% of people have at least one paid subscription going unused each month. Thanks to Rocket Money, I can see all my subscriptions in one place and cancel the ones I'm not using anymore. And now I'm saving money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/final days today. That's rocketmoney.com/final days. rocketmoney.com/final days.
Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com.
Daryl Parker wanted to understand what time Rob would have seen Jennifer's Jeep at the Highway 78 intersection in Bonham before he allegedly went to go buy beer.
A lot of times when you talk about these things and you're trying to put things into order, sometimes you have to work backwards. You hit an established point where we know this happened at this time, then you have to backtrack from there.
According to Rob's interview with investigators, after spending Mother's Day visiting family with his girlfriend Sarah Beth, the couple returned home to her house in Bonham. There, they turned on the TV and watched an episode of The Sopranos. On May 12, 2002, HBO aired a rerun of the Pine Barrens episode of The Sopranos at 7 p.m. If you're a television buff, you'll recognize that name because it's widely considered one of the greatest episodes ever made. In it, Paulie and Christopher think they've accidentally killed a man, and they drive to the Pine Barrens in a failed attempt to bury the body.
And The Sopranos show got over at 8 p.m. And according to both Rob Holman and Sarah Beth Ruffner, after the show ended, Rob Holman went out driving.
The audio here is a little rough, but this is Rob confirming that he went out driving.
Went out riding around like I always do.
In case you didn't catch that, Rob said, "I went out riding around like I always."
Hey y'all, it's Kelly Clarkson here to talk Wayfair. No matter your space, style, or budget, shop Wayfair.com to make your home way more you.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Please do. Interestingly, around 8 p.m. is the same time that Jennifer's friend Christy remembered her leaving the house to go meet someone.
According to Christy, just before 8 p.m., Jennifer sort of said, "Oh my gosh, I got to go. I'm supposed to meet someone."
How confident are you on what happens after she says, "Oh my gosh, it's almost 8 o'clock. I've got to go"?
Well, just given the time frame, he comes to the intersection of 78 and this crossroad. It was the old airport road. And he sees Jennifer approach the intersection in her green Jeep, and she turns right onto the road that leads to County Road 2610. And he says that once she turned right to go that way, he wanted to avoid her, so he turned left.
If Rob truly did avoid Jennifer on Mother's Day is a topic of great interest in this investigation.
They had a pretty lengthy, significant conversation that morning where Rob Holman himself said she wanted him to come spend time with her. And just by coincidence, that evening, she goes to meet somebody.
The fact that Jennifer and Rob had continued to see each other after their divorce had largely been kept a secret.
She didn't want anyone in our family or anyone in Bonham knowing the things that she did. So everything was Jennifer's little kept secret as long as it was.
This is Jennifer's cousin, Susan Bowen, in a 2002 interview with investigators.
I know they still saw each other while they were separated. I think their divorce drug out like a year. I can't remember exactly, but it took a long time. So anyway, they ended up getting their divorce. She told me off and on that she still saw him, and I heard it, from different people, but that was just hearsay at the time.
Also in question was the validity of Jennifer's pregnancy as a whole.
On May 12, 2002, what we can put together is that we don't know whether or not Jennifer was pregnant, but we do know that she believed that she was pregnant.
According to Jennifer's good friend Jill, Rob was not pleased that Jennifer was claiming to be pregnant with his child.
Didn't want to be a dad. Never planned on being a dad. Couldn't understand why they had never done this. And she told me that he had told her that he would do whatever he could to convince her to have an abortion. I said, you need to give him, a couple of days to cool off and, kind of see if, maybe he kind of changes his tune a little bit and has time to really think about what he's saying and, everything like that. And she was like, yeah, that she really kind of felt like, that he wasn't going to be responsible, that he didn't want to be responsible, for it because it's not what he wanted. He didn't want to plan on that. And it would really kind of mess up things with his girlfriend. And if he had to tell her, and just obvious reasons why that would be an inconvenience.
Despite the difficulty, Jill said that Jennifer still expected Rob to come clean about their relationship and the pregnancy.
She was trying to give Rob time to tell his family. Mm-hmm. Not so much, like his girlfriend, but she told me that he was supposed to be telling his parents pretty soon or something. And that she told him that she would give him time to, tell a few people so that they didn't hear it. His family didn't hear it through the grapevine that, he was going to be a dad.
In Rob's interview with investigators, he admitted that he wanted Jennifer to get an abortion, just like her friend Jill Wagner had said.
Y'all talk about abortion. I told her that was the first time we talked about it. I asked her what she was going to do. She said she didn't know. And, so I said, how are you going to take care of a baby? You don't have a job. You don't have anything. And I told her that if she wanted to have an abortion, I'd pay for an abortion.
Yeah, you not being a father, why would you pay for an abortion?
To keep her from saying that it was mine.
As far as Jill knew, Jennifer had recently told Rob that she'd made a big decision about her pregnancy.
The last she told Rob was that, she wasn't going to have an abortion and that she was going to have the baby, whether he liked it or not, basically, and that he needed to...
That was the last time she talked to him that you know of?
I think so.
While that may have been one of the last times Jennifer actually spoke to Rob, it wasn't the only time she'd tried to contact him.
And then I know that she called the house where they live. One of the last times I talked to her, she said she and Sarah Beth had kind of had words because she was calling the house, and
sure.
Obviously, Sarah Beth was like, you don't have any business calling here, this is my house, and you don't need to have, there's nothing you need to be calling him about or for. And from her side, that's true, but she didn't know all the other circumstances that were lying around and why she was needing to talk to Rob or why she felt it necessary to talk to him. And Jennifer told her, I guess, kind of that she could call him anytime she wanted. And that.
When was that? When was the last time you talked? Jennifer?
I want to say, I guess the week she came back from her sisters from Boston. I want to say like Monday, Tuesday-ish.
This would have been May 6th or 7th, about 5 days before Jennifer disappeared on Mother's Day.
And I don't know whether Rob ever did tell his parents. I just knew that she was under the impression that he was supposed to, or was supposed to soon, or he was about to, or something.
On the next episode of Final Days on Earth, the life and death of Jennifer Harris.
And then she had another love interest in her life, and that was
It depends on who you talk to, but the people that know the real truth to it, it was James Hamilton.
Okay.
It was also her business partner.
Okay.
She was still carrying on this thing with Rob behind James's back, which I knew, but I couldn't tell James. I would tell her, I would say, Jennifer, this isn't right what you're doing. I said, you've got to figure out what you want. And if Rob's happy, leave it alone. And she said, I know he still loves me.
Investigators call in the two main persons of interest.
When someone disappears, that's kind of the first thing you have to look at, who would benefit from their disappearance.
I'm just real worried and scared because I know that I don't have anybody to say where I was at that night.
Final Days on Earth is recorded in Dallas, Texas for Cold Case Productions in partnership with Podcast One. This episode was written and reported by me, Claire Sanema, and Hillary Wadsworth. Audio production by Matthew Mallinger of Podcast One. Original theme music composed and performed by Riley Simmons. Associate producer is April Scales. Editorial consultant is Lucy Scott of lucymedia.com. Executive producers are Sharon Richards and me, Claire Sanema. Special thanks to Alyssa Harris-Warnick and Daryl Parker for talking to me for this episode. If you have any information about the unsolved murder of Jennifer Harris, contact the Fannin County Sheriff's Department at 903-583-2143.
It's Kelly Clarkson here to talk all things Wayfair, the best place to buy furniture, decor, and anything else you can think of to create a home you absolutely love. Some of y'all might have heard I made the cross-country move from LA to New York last year, and Wayfair has definitely helped me create the feeling of home wherever I am. I love a cozy couch and a comfy living room that feels like our little sanctuary for our family. And I love vases, I love candles, I love anything that kind of makes you feel at home and peaceful. Anyway, something about me is I love options when it comes to making my home more me. I know when I shop with Wayfair, I find options for every style, whether I'm feeling boho or farmhouse, modern, traditional, French country. I can find exactly what I need for my home and more. Everyone loves a good deal. I mean, who does not want free and fast and easy delivery? Come on. No matter your space, style, or budget, shop Wayfair.com to make your home way more you.
Wayfair, every style, every home.